You guys recommend, I watch. Today we are watching the Australian historical comedy drama The Dish from the year 2000. This movie was not only recommended but also purchased for me by our follower and friend Rick. So shout out to Rick for giving me this movie. The tagline for this movie on the poster is an inspired human comedy. And honestly, that hits the nail on the head. I like to think of this movie as a heartwarming version of Monty Python. That might sound weird to you, but if you watch this movie, you will get exactly what I mean. The emotional depth and feeling hits with the comedy every time, and they are note for note the entire movie. The Dish is about a satellite dish located in a small town called Parkes, Australia, and they get selected to help broadcast the moon landing of Apollo 11. This movie does a great job of using the moon landing as a background to not only discuss the science, but also take a really good look at male friendships and community. You get a great example of male friendships with the small crew from Parks. The younger ones look up to Cliff. He mentors them throughout the movie. You also get a different look at friendship with Al, the liaison from NASA. In the beginning of the movie, Al and Mitch are not seeing eye to eye. Mitch feels like Al's overstepping. He thinks that he's incompetent and he's feeling insecure, and that's causing them to butt heads. But through the mentorship of Cliff, Mitch is able to work through that insecurity, and he has many vulnerable moments with Al, with Cliff, with the whole crew, where he talks about how he feels. He talks about that insecurity, and it ends up bringing him and Al and the whole crew closer together.
Would have been okay to tell Houston. Things go wrong there all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Mission Control still turns blue before every launch from 50 people holding their breath. You have any idea how many rockets blew up on the pad before we put men inside them?
Oh, it's a while ago now.
6 weeks ago. Testing the lunar landing module. 10 simulations without a hitch. On the 11th, the controls jammed, it crashed and burned.
Stress.
When they make mistakes, Cliff reacts, but he never berates them. He doesn't look down on them. He mentors them through their failures. There's a sociologist that talks about the 4 barriers of friendship for men. And although I do think they apply to women in some situations, this movie focuses on male friendships. Basically goes on to say that competition, lack of vulnerability, these are the things that can keep men from making deep connections. In The Dish, they do such a good job of portraying working through those things to get that friendship. This movie had a lot of vulnerable male characters. Bob, who is trying to run this whole thing, when he gets the disappointing news that they might not be able to do the broadcast, he takes it on the chin. He doesn't pout, he doesn't freak out. Like, wow, that doesn't feel good, but let's move through it. Patrick Warburton's character of Al, he reaches out to the daughter who has been sort of ostracized this entire movie, and you can tell that that meant a lot to her because people are not treating her kindly. Al treats her with respect. I also feel like this movie did such a great job with displaying community and how important that is to life. We have community on the micro level with like the crew, and then the town, and then we have the, America, and then we have the world because we're humanity going to the moon. So they're looking at community from the micro all the way up to the macro level and how that is influencing the relationships in the movie. The character that really brought the vulnerability of the men and then the community as one was the character of Rudy, the security guard. Rudy got that job because he's somebody's brother. There is often this trope of the bumbling security guard. They can't make it to be cops, so angry at their incompetence. Normally, very much not a positive character. But when it comes to Rudy, instead of getting angry, he moves on. Cinematography wise, they did have some really beautiful shots, but the point of this movie is definitely in the dialogue. Humor and the heart is there in the quick banter, how quickly they switch from being vulnerable and sweet with each other to joking with each other, kind of razzing each other. If you don't pay attention for half a second, you miss it.
Failure is never quite so frightening as regret.
Oh, that's good advice.
Yeah, pretty good.
I wish someone had told me that.
The last thing that I will say is I did enjoy them using science as a way to get the suspense and action in. You're just inside of a control room, yet your heart is beating. It's almost like you are flying to the moon. They do such a good job with the static, quietness. They found a way to bring action to this very heartfelt drama comedy. Overall, I really enjoyed this movie. I would give it like a 4.7, 4.8. They had slightly boring, slightly, but that is being incredibly picky. This is one of the best movies that I have reviewed so far. Thank you again to Rick. Have any of you guys seen this movie? It is an Australian movie, so I'm wondering how many of you are from Australia or how many from other countries have seen this movie. Let me know in the comments. If you want to see my other reviews, you can find them at hashtag older movie reviews here on TikTok and on YouTube. And as always, I hope you guys have a great day.